Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. It's 4:30. I slept pretty long, but I had some crazy dreams. Oh my god, and they were so real. So I want to talk about that. But there was something I had said. I think I said yesterday, and I didn't finish it. And so I was driving. No, what was it? Oh yeah, I went and got water yesterday, and so I was driving in the car. Always things come to me when I'm driving, always. And I'm telling you, it's like a meditation. I've always done that too. I would get someplace and be like, how the hell did I get here? But so, hey, the lady I was talking about, the one that I was saying, you know, that she had like the black makeup or, you know, heavy line around her eyes. Her teeth were messed up. Her hair was really stringy. Her skin was like, it didn't look good. I mean, the lady looked like she wasn't really taken care of. She looked kind of just like, you know, like she hadn't been taken care of. Like she was, but it wouldn't, but it looked like out of poverty. It looked like, you know, she never really had much. And, you know, she's probably struggled. And this is what was so sad. This is what was so heartbreaking because I never finished that story. And so in the one video I had seen earlier, there was a woman going around Walmart and she was having money and she wanted to gift money to people. She just wanted to give them some money, which is another thing too, which screams out like poverty, money. I just need some money. If I give some money to people, that's going to make their day, which it does for so many people, because so many people are in struggle. And people get really excited and everybody's got something like, fuck, I got some bills, thank you. And, oh God, I could buy some food. You know, everybody's always like, thank you. And so a lot of people want that. And I think, and this is where intention makes a big difference. That you've got to think about your intentions. You've got to go deeper into your intentions. You know, if you intend on, yeah, I'm going to go around and give money away, but I want to make sure it's viral. Like anytime I've ever done something, you know, I don't talk about it because it's kind of, it wrecks the reason that you do it. You're not doing it for props. You're not doing it for a pat on the back. You're doing it because you see someone in need. It's about to make me cry. Because you see someone in need. Oh, God, this is a sad world. It's been sad my whole fucking life, too. But you give it out of just kindness, just out of love. Not out of recognition, not out of, hey, everybody, look what I just did. I'm such a good person. And that's what a lot of people are looking for. And that stuff will blow up in your face. And I don't know her intention. You know, I don't know what her deal was. I had just seen this video earlier, and I went past it because of my attitude towards that. Like, people who are out there, you know, I know that there's some people who are going out there and they're trying to get that energy going. Like, look, you know, look what you can do. You can go do, you know. But there's also a big thing about, you know, look at what a good person I am. I'm such a good person. I do this and I do this and I do that too. And it's like, but that's kind of defeating the purpose of what you're doing. If you need people to all rush up to you and tell you what a good person you are because you helped somebody out who was struggling. You get my drift. So, and then she had a game to it. She was like, I'm going to go around and if they choose the right hand, they get the money. And so she's making this whole thing and she's going through Walmart. And I don't know how much money she gave away or whatever because I wasn't watching the thing. All I saw was the later one. And this was the one that I was like, oh, fuck. This is the kind of shit, man, that will blow up in your fucking face. The energy. You have to think about your intention. You cannot, this is, like, people don't get it. You can't do the same shit. If you're trying to do the same shit, it's gonna fucking blow up. If you're trying to be out there saving the world, you know, and it's one thing to take a stand. Like, I mean, you know, there's tons of people, millions of people out there marching, supposedly, all for this strip. All for the strip, which is so fucking wacky how this fucking documentary, I mean, this to me is such a big slap in the face for humanity that they, you know, y'all are all marching on something that happened a couple years ago. Like, I don't even know what the hell's going on over there right now. I mean, do any of us? Anyone who's over here? And even if you have boots on the ground with somebody, is it somebody you can totally trust? I mean, I don't know. I know I can't go in and watch all of these kids crying and stuff, knowing about the Crisis Act. Then it just pisses me off. Like, you're putting these kids through this stuff. Like, you're just turning them into, like, I don't know. You know, I can't say for sure. They could be getting blown up every day. They could be fucking setting bombs off everywhere. We got bombs all around us. Like, we're in a huge war. We're in a huge crisis. Fucking Iceland is like, fuck, man. Hawaii. Fucking Mexico is being hit again. Cancun was getting a storm now. Fucking Brazil. Like, when you see the fucking footage of that coming in, oh my God. I saw footage, it was from a higher building. It just comes in and sweeps through this water, and then it goes way up the side of buildings. It was fucked, man. I mean, we have got fucked things happening everywhere on this goddamn planet. And the march should be towards freedom and human rights. You know, so whatever gets in there, these giant marches are meant to create conflict. They are, you know, and you know, the hand of God energy is going to, of course, it's moving us in the right direction. So it's going to, but there will be, you know, loss of life through all of this stuff. But when they're sitting here saying, you know, we're all marching for this, it's like, so, I don't know. You should have been paying attention a few years ago then, when it was really happening. Because I think that's pretty fucking, I don't believe in coincidences. When a documentary is coming out about showing this stuff right at the same time, and it was made in 2018 and 2019. Like, it's whacked. And so this woman, she's going around Walmart doing this game. And apparently, she laid her wallet in the cart while she was doing it. Then she got herself all charged up on adrenaline and excitement, and she forgot her wallet. So she just left her wallet in the cart. And then she left. And then she remembered, she went back to get it, but it was already stolen. And she was crying and crying and crying. And she said, I don't care about the money, just all my stuff. You know, all the stuff that you gotta, you know, I mean, it sucks if you've ever lost your wallet or had it stolen or anything, you know, and you have to go redo all that shit. Which to me, I'm kind of getting more into the, why do we carry this shit around? I mean, I used to be somebody who carried something like it was like a suitcase practically around with me. Be unloading it. I'm like looking for something. What do you got? Oh, I've got everything. What do you need? I was like Mary Poppins here. Like, I used to carry a giant ass purse. And my purse has gotten smaller and smaller and smaller. And then pretty soon it's just like, look, I just need a pocket. Do I even need this? Do I need that? It's like, you just get smaller and smaller. It's like, why am I taking this? Why do I need this right now? Why would I need this with me right now? I just started. So anyways, to me, it's like, we don't need all the stuff that we think we need. Ever. Ever. I mean, that's just something like, just always be questioning that kind of stuff. To me, it's just question. So she, you know, had all her stuff stolen when she was trying to do this great deed, and she was crying like, every time I try and do something good, it backfires. Nothing works for me. She was like suicidal. Like, she was like, you know, I'm just done. I'm done. And it was just so sad, you know, to see her. She's trying to, and this is the thing, that's everybody's just spiritually bankrupt. They just have no idea. They don't know how the universe works. They're just, but see, they're following the worldly desires. That's the difference. That's why you gotta question, what's my motivation here? Why am I doing this? You gotta get to, you're doing it because it's inside of you. You're following and even with that, see, this is part of her lesson. This is part of the challenges, you know? And I don't know what she has to face. I don't know, you know? I would say, you know, because she appeared to not have been taken care of through her life, so she probably doesn't put a lot of effort into herself. She's probably struggled financially. You know, I mean, for all I know, every time she gets paid, she buys a half rack of beer and a pound of weed and sits back and enjoys her life and doesn't think much more about it. You know, maybe she doesn't think about, like, well, I'm gonna go get my hair done. I'm gonna go get some new makeup. Maybe I'm going to do some skincare. Maybe she does something like that, you know? I don't know. But that's a thing, you know, for all people too. All people have got to start thinking about, what's my lifestyle? How do I live? Where do I put my money? Where do I put my energy? Where do I put my effort in my life? And, you know, you start questioning that, you're going to find you're putting a lot of energy into a lot of other shit besides yourself. And then there's such a balance to it too. I'm telling you, like yesterday, the walk from hell. I gotta keep powering through this, like, man, and get this training done on this guy. And then one neighbor was like, well, maybe just take him out by himself and walk. But I gotta get them walking together to, that's what I'm trying to do. Get them trained to walk together. And if I just go off and take off, like, and do Stella's favorite thing with the new guy, oh my God. We're talking about the most emotional fucking girl. She pouts over, like, she gets really, her feelings get so hurt. And it was just like, I walked him around the yard on the leash and stuff. I keep doing training with him, like, you know, but he is, I don't know if it's just like puppy or if it's just like a dickhead attitude, or it's just he was left at such a young age out on his own with no concern or something. But he does some dickhead shit, man. Like if you're gonna walk up and you're gonna go sit down, he will run up and jump and sit right where you're gonna sit. He does it to me and Stella all the time, and it's nonstop. If you try, even with me, even when I'm trying to walk, he's trying to, I take my step before me. He's like right on my feet trying to take all my steps. It's like, I'll open a door, there's his face gets hit with it as I'm opening because he's jumping through. And then he looks at me like I'm doing it. It's like, dude, you're jumping, like, fucking slow your ass down. Fucking hyper. And and so I don't know, it's just anxiety. I don't know if it's the breed, you know. But going on that walk yesterday, oh my fucking God. Stella, it was like a parade. She wanted to make sure everybody sees, I've got a friend, and she wants to show off. She wants to show him that she can just do whatever she wants. That she will go and just stop. Well, we're just going to stand here and sniff this for a while. And then he doesn't even know what the fuck. So he starts jumping around, starts twisting around me. I was like, oh my God, you trying to get her to go. And I'm trying to walk 200 pounds of dog. And I still have a wheeze, Crystal. But it is clearing out a lot. And the weather here just goes again. I mean, this is allergy weather. We go rain, 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 dry for a few hours, then rain, 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 dry for a few hours. It's just like fucking nonsense. So, you know, I'm trying to walk this 200 pounds of dog. And Miss Smartass, know it all over here. I knew when we went past a certain part, I was like, oh my God. She wants to go through this one part where we have to walk through past all these motherfucking dogs. And I was like, oh my God. And she wouldn't turn around. She wouldn't do what I said. She's just like, we're going this way. And then she sees something. She just pulls over there. We're going to go look at this. We're going to go do this. Like she's walking. Well, she was walking me. Absolutely. And so I was beginning to sweat. Once we had gone all the way around the turn, because my street is a giant ass circle. And so once we had went around the turn and we were going back down past the houses, once we got to the neighbor guy, his dog is always tied up, and it's always so, his dog and our dogs, they can't ever meet. But Stella would get so excited when we walk past. She's like, she wants to run over there. But he won't let my dogs intermingle with his because he thinks his dog's dangerous, which I don't fucking know. Maybe it's attacked things and killed it. I don't fucking know. And so I keep mine away. His comes running out on its thing and starts going crazy. And I knew that she was doing this on purpose. I knew it. And then we go walking, and so she tries to make sure she's on that side because she's ready to go. And he has no idea. And then once the barking started, oh my God. fucking kangaroo going all over the fucking place. I'm trying to grab her. She's going this way. They twist me around in the mother. This was like a goddamn cartoon. And it's across the street from the guy who always wants to kick my ass. I'm sure they're just sitting out the window. Yeah, good. Fall down, you stupid bitch. But I have been nice to him. I mean, I did say, hey, that's cute. Your cat walks with you when you walk your dog. And when I even try to say something nice, it's like, what? But I don't know. Maybe they weren't cheering my demise on, but I don't know. But so I'm out there struggling. Oh, I was pissed. While we were even walking, and now he's got his harness on. So now I can, just pick him up with the leash. Before, when it was around his neck, I was like, fuck. But he'll fucking pull on it and be like choking himself out. And he never even coughs or anything. I was like, where is your esophagus? And so he's... now he's got the harness. So while we were going down the street and she's pulling her shit, then we get the mailman. So we're going along with the mailman. I was like, oh God, I'm steaming up. Fuck. And it was like, I swear to God, it was like fucking traffic. And I'd have to keep going to the side and holding my dogs. And then we'd start walking a couple of steps and another car would come and go to the side, hold the dogs. It was like, oh my God, I'm in hell. I'm in fucking hell. This is fucking hell. And then I'm sitting there, why am I doing this walk? And I'm questioning my motivation, And I'm having to grab him up, and I'm sure the postman, I'm not telling who all, and I'm sure it looked like I was fucking insane. They had no idea. Go out and walk this. You go try and see how well you can do. But people sit back and judge and stuff. So I'm yanking him up, and he just comes up like air. And, I wasn't thinking that much about it. I was thinking, God, Kelly, you're turning into fucking Hulk. God, you better control your anger. This is patience working, remember? Shut up, motherfucker. And so I'm going and do this hell walk. The postman's watching me the whole time, like yanking the dog this way, pulling still that way, cussing my head off. And then I get twisted around and so go get in my yard, come in here to just decompress, like, oh God, I've never done that. And, there was something else I was gonna say about that. Hold on. Oh, damn it. So, man, there was something I was gonna say. It drives me crazy. I'll fly through real quick. Wait, hold on. I'm in the middle of a sentence. So anyways, so that was a horrendous walk, and I have to keep doing it, but I can't go that whole way. And she's trying to, show off for him. Then we come back, and I don't know, because I had boy dogs before, but this is a different dynamic. I've never had this dynamic before, and so whatever he's doing, I'm like, okay, I gotta get him fixed or something. Last night he was wild, and then she's going wild, and they're sniffing each other, and then they get more wild, and then he's doing this thing, like he's going and sticking his butt up, like it's some sort of Will Smith move, like, hell yeah. Like, what? I was like, what the hell? And all day yesterday, if you haven't heard about the Will Smith, and I'm sure I talked about this a long while ago, but yeah, old Will's being exposed. But, just come out and admit you're goddamn gay. Like, what in the hell? Why is he's, just like Michael. Like, why wouldn't you just admit it? Like, all these people. So, yeah, they're going to be exposed for their lies. And Will, like, he's living a complete double life. Like, who even knows if him and Jada were even a couple ever? Because he is really into the D. He's not into the P. And it's been like a well-known thing, but now his bodyguard is talking about what he walked in on. Will's just, and he's being plowed. He was making like, it was hard. It was real hard. He was being plowed by, I don't know, some other actor that, I don't know, this guy was like a basketball player, then became a actor, and then he was in The Fresh Prince, and they've been friends, possibly lovers, ever since they were kids. So then, I don't know, it's like a Rock Hudson thing, like the Zionist cock, tells them, like, well, you have to put on this persona. Like, maybe he really wanted to go out into the world and say, hey, I'm a flaming gay guy and accept me for who I am. And the powers that be said, no, we need you to play straight. This is your wife. Go play. You're an actor. Make it work. You know, who knows? I think that's kind of like that attitude, because that's how it was with Rock Hudson. No telling how many other people through time, if they want to market off of you, you got to be what they want you to be. You got to suck that Zionist cock. It just is so funny now to see. And there's people who are real excited. Seems to be Jewish people who are really excited now to have it be seen that they aren't, that it is two groups. And so they feel like that this other is being exposed so that they can be seen as just like, you know, they're just another regular religious group. But the, you know, those other people that I'm sure we can't keep saying that word, starts with a Z, as they are the ones running the world. Is the thing too. I knew when all these people kept saying these Satanists and these Luciferian and shit like that, and I kept thinking that these people know way more than these other people. They are not sitting here worshiping Satan. They may do rituals. They may do all this shit. They may worship, you know, ancient deities, and they may pull in that energy. Like, I don't fucking know, because everything's about energy. They may pull in some negative energy and use it for their benefit. They, this was trippy, and it was wild because Amy Wolf, she's also on TikTok, and she had sent me this, and I just watched this video, and so she had just seen it and sent it to me, so we both seen it, and we're like, what? But this is like the kind of stuff that I've been saying about, you really got to watch who you follow. Like, you have to use discernment. People have to learn about what discernment is. It's like, it's your soul's gut instinct. It's like, what does your soul feel about this? Like, and that's what I've talked about. Like, that's how I've lived my life. By what my soul told me to do, not by what the people around me told me to do. And I would get laughed at all the time. And then they, why in the world would you do that? Because that's what I feel like I need to do. Oh, you feel? So you don't need logic? You just need feelings? Well, yeah. People just don't understand you when you're not like them. So, but you gotta get in contact with your fucking instincts, your gut, your soul. Like, anybody who's not having contact with that, you need to make contact. Hello in there. You gotta get in there and talk to them. And you gotta know that there's guards. There's a lot of dark energy trying to guard you, keep you away from that knowledge. It's like a true fucking Raiders of the Lost Ark inside of you that you gotta get through. You gotta go through the battle to get to the truth. So, this lady, and I've seen her a bunch of times, this girl, and usually I don't listen to her because she's one of those spiritual people that she just, I don't think I've found any. I don't think I've found any yet where I'm in alignment with, where I'm like, yeah, we're on the same vibe. They'll be talking and then they'll go in another direction and I'll be like, ah, damn it. So it's always, but I know it's a process, you know, and a lot of people's spirituality is new to them. And that's what I got to keep out of my judgment. I got to keep remembering, okay, this is new to a lot of people. They're just trying to figure it out. Don't be so judgmental, Kelly. Shut it down. And so, because I can get real like, oh my God. I have a judgmental side. You know, we're all working on something. So, and I know that is a part of it's a part of my journey. I was supposed to be looking at things through a lens to see. I had to see what was broken. It's part of what I was supposed to be seeing. It was pointed out to me from the time I was little. I was born into a broken family. It was pointed out to me. And then everything after, it was always pointed out to me. And that's why I said, like, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a psychologist. I wanted to be a kid psychologist. I wanted to help kids. I didn't want kids to have to ever go through what I went through. And it's rough, you know. Oh my God. Like, you can't even imagine. Like, it is like book worthy. No shit. It's in book intense. Anyways, so I wanted to help kids. And ever since I was a kid, so they were always talking to me and showing me things. I mean, at 3 years old, they were telling me, you know, they were giving me to think about, you know, well, this or this. If you do this, this will happen. If you do this, this will happen. Like, whatever you want to call that. You know, they were actively making me make choices that had consequences, and they were participating in my choices with me to make sure I understood. And so it was you know, it's just the way that I was seeing things. And so I don't remember why I was saying that, because I want to go back to this lady, the one that I had seen and Amy had seen. So she was talking, and there was a spiritual conference that was in Vegas last week, and she went, and she said she's psychic and her friend is psychic, and they had gone, and they were going, when you go to these conferences, there's all different speakers, usually at a hotel, and she said this one was at like the Luxor, which is a giant pyramid, she said, which that was weird. And Bashar was at this, and she said, you know, I mean, the only thing when I've heard Bashar, which I don't listen to him, because that is he's got his own people talking to him, just like I have my own. So I don't go out and listen to other people, what they talk, because it just, I don't know. I like to stay focused on what mine tell. I don't like to start thinking like, oh, well, he said this way, but I have heard him say a few things, like people share him all the time, and I'll hear him say something, I'll be like, oh, wait, is he going to say the same thing as me? And then I'll be like, oh, yeah, he said like the same thing, just said a little different. So there has been a few things I've heard him. And when I very first saw him, I had the same feeling as I did with Abraham Hicks, because I never listened to her either. I'd heard her a few times, but, you know, I have my own, I mean, I've been manifesting ever since I was a kid. I didn't need help with that. But I didn't understand, like when I watched The Secret, it did make me see, you know, I mean, I knew I was doing that stuff, but I saw something different. But when I would listen to Abraham Hicks, I just don't, like, same with Bashar, there's a few of them, and then they're guides, and maybe I do it too. Maybe I've come across as real, but I don't know. I just always get put off, so I don't listen to her. She sounds kind of like ridiculing or something. And Bashar too, it was like a smugness or something. But yeah, I know that they're both passing on good information for people, you know, helpful stuff. I think some of the times that when Abraham Hicks says things, I think that people go too much on the surface and don't go in deeper, because some of the things that I hear her say, I hear it much deeper than what other people say. So I think that like when she says you have to feel it, you have to know it, because it's coming from inside. You do. Like, you have destiny. You have to feel, you know, and if you're here to experience poverty, trying to manifest $1 million isn't going to work. What you've got to be doing is working on making the best of what you have. Like, there's whole other challenges. There's whole other lessons. Not everybody's here to just like, okay, well, now I'm going to manifest $1 million. No, it's not about the money. People are so stuck on the money. And that is worldly things. And the universe offers everything that the money can buy. So you got to go to the universe for what you want, not the third party money. So this lady who went to this one, so it was a big one. I mean, if Bashar was there, I would think, you know, it's a pretty big conference. There was several people. Amy even went and looked it up to see. She was trying to figure out which one this happened at. So there was a big group meditation, and we already know, like, the football games, all of these places where they get you, even the shape of them and stuff, they're harnessing energy and they're directing how they want it to work. So they do rituals and stuff. So they'll use all the people's excitement and energy to pull in these entities or deities or something. I'm not sure. You know, I'm sure we'll learn more about it in their mystical world that they, you know, once more stuff is exposed and we see, it's the hidden truth and it's what we are. So anyway, so she goes and it's this group meditation, and I'm pretty sure she was saying, you know, like, you know, they're harnessing our energy, and I think she had just realized it at this thing. And so she said it was very weird. You know, everybody's sitting here doing this meditation, and she said then they told them all to put their hands up like this. And she said when you do that, it's like your energy comes through here. You have energy that comes through here. It's like Spider-Man. And that is what a lot of these people, if you're watching any of these people who are working on like this kinetic moving things and stuff, and so they can just take their hand up and like you can feel it. Like I can feel it right now as I'm pushing up there. I can feel heat right here. And even when, you know, God, it got really hot. Even in their Reiki, that is where you start feeling, you start forming a ball with energy. You'll start feeling it. You can start putting it back and forth from hand to hand and stuff. You know, that was when I was doing those Reiki classes. I was learning about that. But the energy thing that comes out of here, you can use it and you focus your energy and you move things before your hand gets up there. God, you can feel it coming out. So anyway, she was put off when they did that. And they wanted everybody to put their hands up like that. So they were giving their energy, being able to suck it straight out of you. And then they had him go into a meditation, and I can't remember what was being said, but she said she opened her eyes and she looked on the stage, and she said at the same time her friend did. And they both looked up on the stage, and there was a Draco reptilian on each side of the speaker. And so then they looked around and nobody else was seeing it. But she said, but we're both psychics, so we could see things that other people weren't seeing. And both of them could see it. It wasn't just like, well, I could see it. No, they both saw it. And then they talked about it. But there was a big Draco reptilian on each side. And this is also, I guess, Gaia channel, which I had heard a long while ago about with David Wilcock and stuff. That was the whole thing. You know, he had left Gaia channel. He was on the Cosmic Disclosure. Now it's the guy with the mustache. But David used to be on, and there was some sort of falling out or something with Gaia. And there was a whole thing. I don't remember all the way back. But then I was thinking, oh, so Gaia channels also, I mean... But it is the only source that you have for some spiritual stuff. But you have to use discernment because, again, they're trying to control what you understand, control what you think and stuff, and direct how you look at things. So, you know, the spirituals are just like how religion is trying to. So they do the same thing with spiritual. But that's why you got to, you know, you got the whole story inside you. And then when you're watching things and listening to things, like I've only seen a few things off Gaia. Like I watched Initiation with Matías de Stefano, because you have to pay to get it. So I paid to get that and watched it. And then I watched, I swear Cosmic Disclosure used to not be on Gaia. And maybe it was when they were doing the thing to get it on there or something. I just know there was something with David Wilcock and Gaia and Corey Goode. Something went on, and it was a long while ago. And then, and so I've only seen a few episodes of Cosmic Disclosure. And then there was a documentary I really liked I saw on there about sensitive people. I was like, oh, that gave me peace. And, man, I don't know, because there's a lot of stuff that I just know is stuff inside of me. I don't. So, anyways, I haven't watched a lot of stuff, so I can't. But I always say, you know, on Gaia channel, but I really liked Initiation. When I watched that, it was like, it was like reminding me and giving me confirmation. And so it was just, I really liked it. So, but you have to be careful, you know, over anything that you bring in the information. You can't put that information above your discernment. Just because the information's coming from somewhere else doesn't mean it's for sure. You know, everybody's got opinions, and we have a lot of people who are trying to manipulate. So she said that it was really strange because they were looking at these Dracos, and she said immediately she closed her eyes and started cutting cords. She was cutting cords and cutting cords, and they were just draining the energy out of the people. They were just sucking it into them. And she said when she started cutting the cords, all of a sudden the speaker, the guy who was up there running the meditation, opened his eyes and looked directly at them. So he was obviously, or the Dracos, because that is what Corey Good was used for, was for talking to him. Because everything, you know, you got to do it with telepathy. You know, and that's why I said, like, I've been using telepathy, talking to him my whole life. That's why I feel like that there was something in those tests that they were looking for, because they got Corey and a bunch of other people from those tests, where my guides were telling me, just fill in the circles, don't do the test. And so, you know, and even when I would try and read the questions, it would just be like, it wouldn't make any sense to me. They can just blur your brain, because whatever, you know. So anyways, I think they caught a bunch of people like that in those tests. Like, I think that they've been looking for us for a long time. And so, but that's what Corey was used for, was to translate between the beings. And so the Dracos were probably the ones that picked up on what the girls were doing. And the Dracos probably told him, because he's connected with them, and they told him what she was doing. And he looked, and he opened his eyes and looked right at him. And they were saying he was like kind of robot, like a robot or something. He was creepy. And so she said it was so uncomfortable. He just kept staring at him and staring at him and staring at him. He didn't ever look away or look at other people. So, but the Dracos are very psychic. So that's why I was like, man, they would pick up. They would know immediately. If you saw them, they would know. And so, and it could have been, you know, that could have been a part of it too. Hey, we're going to stand here. We'll see how many people see us, and we'll tell you. And there's a whole thing right now is reptilians are everywhere. I mean, we are definitely being prepared for the truth. I mean, they're on commercials, they're walking in the streets, it's everywhere. Stuff with reptilians. So it's like to get us prepared. Oh yeah, and there's these, I saw this podcast, and it was these Amazon tribe people. So it was, because there's a lot of tribes that are just live like tribes. They don't have stores and stuff. They just live like tribes. They wear their garb. They live in a village. They hunt and just take care of themselves, just like how people used to. And so they showed them pictures of the Greys, and the tribe people said, oh, those are the ant people. They live underground. And then they come up, and then they'll take people and take them down under the ground. And so, and think about how often the ships like go down, and all these doors all over the place in mountains, because the people in charge here had to make deals. Once people knew, and it was Admiral Byrd. Admiral Byrd, I think, was a big part of our awakening and stuff. He's, you know, he came in to turn the lights on some stuff. And so, because his information is constantly being passed around and talked about. And his was all, he went outside the ice wall. And I looked it up yesterday to see, where is Iceland? Because it's right next to Greenland. Because I was like, how close is it to the ice wall? And Greenland, and it's further inland, or in the water. Greenland is fucking huge on the map. Like, oh my God. It made Iceland look tiny. And Greenland seems like it's more by the ice wall, but I don't know. Because, you know, how they do things. So I don't know, man. When even just seeing the size of Iceland is like, fuck. And the volcano's bad. I don't know. I think there's going to be bad disaster there. I don't know. A lot of people probably, we'll see. It's probably going on right now because the flames were already coming up through the streets. It was like, oh my gosh. And so I don't know exactly where it is. I don't know, but it's bad. And so, but it seems like that was over around there, like Greenland and stuff, where those guys were on that boat trying to go through to that place called Thoth or something, go through the ice wall. Like there was an opening that you could get to this other land that was Thoth, that was this huge. And then when they got over there, it was like, tropical or something. It was like different because everything is realms and stuff. Just think about if these little ant-men, we think that they're out in space, way out somewhere. And they're really, it's all realms. Like we're in realms. And so they can be underground and be in a completely different realm. Corey Good has even gone underground into some other realms. And he said it's like crazy. It's like a giant cities. And even they have like light sources. There's even rain coming. Like it's just like another world. And we have them all around us. We think this is only one because we are in this one that has been very mind controlled and limiting beliefs and stuff. So, but I just thought that was super interesting. He's saying that they're underground. And, we've got all these different beings that are living all around. I mean, we've got people living in the mountains. We've got people living in everywhere. And you can go in the ground. And that wouldn't surprise me. There's ones living in the sky and we just can't see them because they're just a higher vibration. And I think today is the day that Elon is they're trying to bust the firmament. And all I can think of is because they've got to know. They can't bust it. They have to know it's vibration. And so I don't know if it's just like a big show and then that's going to cause this big thing to go on in the sky that's going to start shit. I don't know. I mean, they keep putting out all of these messages, the White Hat. This is it. This is, be prepared. And so who knows what it's going to be. My check went in today. But now the government's already saying they're not paying TSA. And I don't know what all people they're not going to pay. I don't know if they're going to start saying they're not paying postmen. I don't know what all. But the people at the airports are saying that the TSA, as of today, I think, they don't get paid. And she said they did this during COVID. It was like, they just stopped paying people during COVID and people still went to work. And she said that the amount of, so many people wouldn't go to work because they weren't getting paid. And so she said, expect that to happen. And this is going to be during the travel for the holidays. And there's no TSA. So she's like, you got to expect you're going to have long lines. You're going to have long waits. The airports are going to be so distracted. It's going to be a big mess. So, they're going to cause more because they control our movement. They're just out to control us. And so, they'll do that. And I'm sure gas will go way up. There's a whole thing going on about that too, where the people who are watching how the money and the economics go, they're like, we're going to be paying $10 a gallon here real quick. And I had heard 15, I'd even heard 30 because of what they're doing about the oil. But, this is all a show. And so the travel and stuff is going to be a big chaotic mess, and the lines waiting and all of that stuff is going to be horrendous. So they have that. Oh, there's more shit with San Francisco. And, where did all these homeless people go? When you see the footage before, it was like, look like Pittsburgh, or Philly, look like Philly. With, just people bent over, just laying around and stuff. And then overnight, all of a sudden, the streets are cleared and everything's gone. Like, it's fucking, what? It's creepy. Like, it's like, do they just drive through and gas everybody? For fucking sake, they could go through, gas everybody, knock them out, put them to sleep, load them up in trucks, take them to a lab. Just like I'm sure what they did with the people when they flash froze them. because there was people over in Buffalo who were saying that the people were just disappearing, that they would be frozen all over the place, and that they were just disappearing. Well, and it really, really got to me is because you cannot, you can't say somebody's dead because they're frozen. You have to thaw them out and then see if they come back, because you can, that's a thing. You can be frozen into, and then come back. People come back all the time from being frozen. All the time. And so I think flash freezing people and then, you know, loading them up somewhere and taking them down to some fucking lab. And then no telling what the fuck they did to them. I mean, they could still be down there fucking just Mr. Potato Heads. Like, there's no fucking telling. These people are so goddamn creepy. And so we got the fucking aliens or whatever, all the different beings. They're, you know, all around us. They're making their presence known. There's some guy, he was out. There's footage of this one. This guy was out playing some instrument. There's a lot of guys who keep going out and playing instruments. Like, they'll go out by a field, and all the cows and all the animals come over to the fence and all sit and listen to him play the instrument. And it's real cool. And then in the forest, and animals will come out and listen and stuff. And so they keep seeing these videos of people doing this. And this one, the guy was doing, this guy, he was out walking, I think, and he heard something or something. And so he started doing this howling back. So he started doing this weird sound. It was coming out of him, but he was like he was doing this weird thing with his voice and his throat and stuff, and it was making like these weird sounds, which it seems like kind of like a Bigfoot call or something. And so a deer came out and was watching him. And so in the video where you see the deer, two other people, well, we call them people, the person was saying maybe they were Wendigos or something, some kind of big beings. They would go in and out of focus, like they weren't completely in our dimension, but they were probably experiencing it. But we have to be higher vibration to be able to see them clearly. But that's what we're working towards, and how it comes through acceptance. The more you can accept, the more you can see. And so because you got to be able to accept it, your mind's got to be able to wrap yourself around it. And so these two giant beings were like ducking behind these bushes and trees and watching them, and they'd come out. They were huge. And so I don't know, I don't think they were Bigfoot either, because Bigfoot is, they looked not just like light beings, because they definitely look like something that hides in the forest and probably eats people. Maybe they were hunting this deer, I don't know. And, you know, I mean, Bigfoot, I think he's vegetarian, and so it could be just like maybe they like to eat tree bark or something. I don't know why different ones come here. Supposedly just Earth just had so much resources that so many different beings would come here to enjoy. It's like a vacation spot or something. Everybody wants to go, but not everybody wants to be birthed in. Being birthed in, that's the hard part. That's what we did. So we are birthed in, and we don't get to get out until we, you know, they open that portal, that portal of death. That thing they tell us of death, that's your portal, that's your exit wound. Your exit wound, it is one. Your exit, you know, exit stage left. When your death comes, that's your portal exit. So you enter through your mom's vagina, and you exit just out of your own experience, and then you live in aftermath of how you affected people and stuff. This girl, she was doing this video yesterday, and she was saying, I've seen a lot, man, there's a lot going on with people's parents and stuff, a lot of people, and people gotta see, like, all this stuff is coming up because you gotta heal it, and you do have to set boundaries and stuff. And if people say won't respect your boundaries, like, you have to be willing to walk away from them. But to me, it's not like just, okay, well, I'm never speaking to them again. because ultimately they will always hurt my feelings. You know, you got to work on, you know, becoming stronger in yourself and trusting yourself and being more, you know, and being more stern. Hey, don't talk to me that way. I've told you before, if you say it again, I'll leave. And just start being like that. And keep it still going around, because that you're teaching them too. So many of these people are so broken, so broken. So broken, man. And people just are just struggling, trying to survive and hurting other people in aftermath, man. And so this lady, she was saying that her mom died and she left. So she left the hospital, but she said, my mom was with me. And she said, she came into my house with me and they started having a conversation. And her mom was like, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. You know, like she had to fix things. And this is the thing that happens all the time. When people are not living a certain way, you leave and all of a sudden it's like, fuck, what? You're just all of a sudden your mind just opens. Like as soon as you're out this, and you've exited the vehicle, then you have such a realization, and that is when it hits people. And so she was just like confused. She didn't know what to do. And her daughter kept telling her, you gotta go. You gotta not worry. You gotta not stress. You gotta go towards the higher vibration. You gotta, you know, she kept trying to explain to her. She wasn't saying go into the light. She was trying to tell her, you gotta go higher in your vibration. You can't be in worry. You can't be in stress. Everything's gonna be fine. And so she was trying to talk her mom through it. But she said it was this whole long thing. But I've said that a bunch of times. I mean, the dead people follow us home. They stay with us. They don't leave. And they're oftentimes confused. And then once they're out, they see the error of their ways in a big way. And then they want to fix it. And they can't fix it when they're outside of the game. It's a completely different thing. And that is, you know, so they'll try and fix it in other ways. Some of them will stay with you. And they keep trying to cheer you on, give you direction, and help you through your life journey. But you got to remember, your life journey is set. I can't believe how many people I see, just like the lady at the Walmart who was so upset when she lost her wallet and stuff, you know. I see exactly what's happening for the spiritual side of it. Is like, you know, she had to look at something. She had to see something deeper. She had to go have this thing taken away so that she would see. And they're always trying to talk to you when they're trying to show you. But it's the being, it's the vehicle that gets all confused. And then there's all these people who think like that they, you know, they have to go out and make their life, you know, they have to go do this, they have to go do that. No. You are on a ride. You stepped onto a ride when you came out of that vagina. You got on a ride and it was already set. The script was written and you're just going. And the more that you can get comfortable and enjoy the ride and see the benefits of the lessons and stuff, the more it's a positive experience. The more you are fighting it and wanting to turn the ride this way, turn it that way. You don't like this, you don't like that. It's like because you forgot what you're here for. You forgot what you came in to learn about. So you're all caught up, and it's like you're fighting yourself. And so that is an important thing for people to start understanding and seeing is, you know, you got to get in sync, get in the rhythm, get in the flow of your life. As the people are coming to you, you know, and, you know, I was always somebody who, the people would come to me. Like the guys I would meet and stuff, they would come to me. You know, I would always think, oh, the universe is bringing them to me. This is the universe has brought them. And then it would be, you know, a disaster. And so I kept thinking, oh, yeah, man, I'm fucking this up. Like, what am I doing? Like, what is wrong with me? And, well, you know, try another one. And especially when the other ones, I had a tendency to go with people who were very drunk and violent and so angry. And Like well, I know you can't be killed unless, and I've had so many near things, like so many. And I just know you can't die before your time. But my first husband, if he would have had his way about it, he would have taken care of that situation. He would have done me in right away. And, he's just, he's got severe mental problems. And so these relationships and stuff, it caused me a lot of confusion. But that was in my awakening, where all of a sudden I saw my patterns, and I saw, this all happened for me. All these people, it just opened my mind so much. And, but I was already spiritual. That's the thing, is like, I was already looking at things a certain way. But there was still a big part of the awakening, just like in 2020, even though I was awake to all this stuff, so many pieces went together in my puzzle. So it was just like, boom. And all of a sudden I could just see so much. And so it's a gradual thing. It's just a gradual, just like the ride is, we're really, it's like we're on like those, it's a slow ride. It's not a fast one. It's a slow ride. And so you have time to think and to experience. So we're not just zipping through, even though, you can look back and go like, God, that went fast. It's still, as we're going through, it is, it's more of a scenic tour ride, it seems like. But, so, I was having these people come to me, and I knew there was like these soul connections and stuff, but I didn't, there was definitely a time where I was like, man, I must have done something bad in a past life. But then I went to that psychic and she told me, and then a lot of pieces went together with that. I was like, oh, yeah, I probably fucked these people all over. Now I get to see what it's like. And so, that's cleaning up a lot of karma. So you have to, when you're going through those things, you got to just look at life in a bigger spiritual way, and realize like it's this goes around, comes around kind of thing, It's just this, what you do comes back to you. And I think, because I have a bunch of things that are like, I wanted to say about this, these dreams last night. It was crazy. It wasn't even last night. It was this morning. Because I was sleeping, and Jack, I think I'm just going to have him sleep in the crate. Just is so much calmer. And so he was in the crate, so I was on the bed, or her bed, and I just laid on the couch. And it was still, like, it was very intense for, like an hour and a half or something. And then finally everything went peaceful. And then while I was laying there, I was like, man, it must be like full moon. Because I'm pretty sure there's something about the moon and all sorts of stuff. But the moon's disappeared from a bunch of places. And there's a whole thing about this Blue Kachina sun and the Hopi, I think it's the Hopi prophecy. And this one guy was saying, because the LED light that they're saying, it's just so funny when I started saying this stuff about the fake sun. And I kept saying it, and people just thought I was just whacked out. Not very many people heard me, but the people who would hear me would be like, think I was nutty. And I was like, I know it's fake. And nobody would believe me. And then all of a sudden, everybody starts seeing it. Everybody starts saying, it's just so weird. Like, how often when you see things and people are like, no, you don't see that. No, you don't know what you're talking about. And then all of a sudden, they all see it. And then all of a sudden, oh, now it's real. After you got done making fun of me, I've spent my whole fucking life like this, man. And so anyways, okay, so this was weird. Because these two, I remember, it was like somebody was trying to penetrate or get in. Like somebody was trying to get in, and I think like micro, macro. So it was some energy trying to get in to my mind or something, because this was really strange, because the dreams were so real. I did not think I was dreaming. So we'd gone all night and we slept, and then I woke up and I was kind of laying there, And then Stella, it's like we're got a psychic connection. And then so she wakes up and then she's moving around and whining and stuff. So I get up to give her some medicine. And Jack kind of, but I didn't even acknowledge him. And I just went and laid back down, gave her some medicine, went and laid back down, and everybody went back to sleep. And it was just back to quiet. And so I went into this sleep that was all these dreams. And it was super intense. And I can't remember all of them. But on this one part, this was really cool because it was like somebody was trying to get in. There was something, I don't remember what it was because it was over like by a wall or something. And so we were over there trying to do something. And I don't know what happened, but for something, I sat down or something. And it was by this place. It was like this energetic place. And all of a sudden, I started going backwards. And I was going backwards, just like, and I could feel it. It was like I was the person who was in the thing, and I was just going backwards. Everything I could see, and I was like, I was just being pulled. It was the wildest fucking thing. I can't even tell you. And then, and I was getting pulled for a while. And it was fast too. It was really cool, kind of cool. And then I woke up and I was like, what the hell? That was wild. Because it seemed so real. And I could feel it and I could see it. And it was wild. And I was like, oh my God, that was crazy. And so then I went back to sleep. And it seemed like there kept being a bunch of dreams. But then this one. So I thought I was awake again. And I got up and I went into the kitchen and I started making tea or something. And then and it was like 3 in the morning. And then somebody was at my door knocking. So my kitchen window is right there. So it was like right there. And so it's like you can definitely see if you were on my porch, my porch goes in front of my kitchen window. Well, not exactly. It ends right there. But you can definitely stand there and look in. And so I was in the kitchen and the lights were on. It was like 3 in the morning, typical morning. So I thought it seemed like it was all real. And then somebody came to the door and started knocking. And I was like, what the fuck? And they kept knocking and knocking. And so I came out of the kitchen. I think I turned the kitchen light off. And I came out of the kitchen. I was by the door and they just kept knocking and knocking and knocking. And then I started telling them that they needed to leave, go away. And as this is happening, I'm thinking, fuck, they went past all of my my no trespassing signs. And my gate I didn't have it completely locked. I had the chain through and then the lock turned so it looked like it was locked, but it wasn't pushed in. And so I was like, fuck. They came in, they undid my chain, opened my gate, came in here in the middle of the night. Now they're up here banging on the door. And then they started saying something. And so I'm arguing with them through the door and telling them to leave. And then something where I started going, okay, well, I've got my bug spray, so I'm ready. They fucking penetrate the door. I've got my bug spray right by the door. I got my vinegar water right by the door. Let's go. I'll fight you with my vinegar and my bug spray. I was like, dogs, shut your eyes. Here comes the bug spray. And I was like, it seemed so real because I was like imagining like, okay, so I'll flick that little switch. I'll aim that bug spray at him. And then all of a sudden I woke up again and I was like, oh my God, this is so wild. These dreams I keep just going into real quick. Only it doesn't seem like I'm in a dream. It seems like this is all really happening. And then for both of those, and there was more than those, but for both of those that were sticking out to me so strong, I was like, something's trying to penetrate. Something's trying to get in. If they're trying to get in my mind, if it's an energy, I don't know. But it was really, really weird. And I'm like, oh, man. And I had heard from a lot of people, because there's a lot of people who have been smoking weed since they were kids. And then, so through their awakening, they had stopped smoking. And for mine, I was on, all pharmaceuticals and I didn't smoke. And then my step down was the smoking. Well, it was just the candies at first. Then I just started liking smoking. I just really liked it. I would go sit, you know, there would be a big group of people. I would always think it's like a powwow or something. I loved it. And I would be sitting there smoking, and I go sit down and smoke, and everybody be talking. And then I would always be like, do you guys start having spiritual things, like people talking really loud in your head? And they're like, no. I'd be like, really? And because it just, to me, that's what weed did for me. It was like, I don't know. It just took away a lot of the noise. It just put me more in contact with the people I was talking to anyway. So it just like cleared the pathway. So I was like, hell yeah, that's fucking cool as shit, man. I had way more people talking to me. It was like, God, I loved it. And so I was like, man, this is cool. And so I was really liking it. And then it was fun to sit with the group. And then after, you know, especially when I got here, I think that's when I really got into, you know, because I was by myself and into the habit of like, fuck, I really like smoking. Like, fuck, it's so relaxing. And so, you know, I'd always go buy these joints, like, go buy a pack of cigarettes, like a pack of joints, and then sit and smoke them. But it's not like smoking a whole pack of cigarettes, like, because, you know, you can't smoke, like, your head would get too fuzzy. So you can only smoke a little bit, and then, so one joint could last a long time. It could last hours. So you just smoke a little bit, and then it would always be super relaxing and kick back and just go into meditation or whatever, and you know, talk to the other beings. Oh, the helicopters showed up last night again. So the helicopters showed up. Like, we are right on the edge of whatever they're gonna do. Some shit is gonna go down, and there's gonna be like, I don't know. Like in Seattle, there's footage that the protests had decided to close the, you know, in the city when all the people use these roads and there are a lot of traffic. And then these protesters go out and just block the road and won't let the people go through. So, you know, I'm sure it's their orders, because then the police are there and the police won't do anything. And they're telling the people, oh, well, you just got to go somewhere else. You got to go around. So the people are getting pissed. And there's giant traffic jams. And that's where, you know, they want to push people who just lose their mind and just start running over the people. That's why the people who are doing this stuff don't realize, like, they're using you. Like, don't go do this shit. And they want you to get run over. They want chaos. They're hoping for it. But the people go and do it because they're the SJWs. We're standing up for these kids over here that we've seen footage. It's like, okay. So anyways, there's going to be, you know, more and more of that kind of shit. That's what they want, these fights to break out. And people fighting and getting mad, and they just want the anger, they want the chaos, because you gotta think, like, those two Dracos are up there sucking the energy out of all that meditation. But we've got beings on us, all around us, all the time. Like, you start getting, and I know some of them knock shit out of your hands. They fucking knock shit out of your hands. They're fucking, you're trying to do something. Like yesterday, I was trying to do something, and then I had a bowl sitting there with all the stuff I was taking out to the bird feeder, and it just flew off. It's like, you motherfuckers. But you can't get yourself mad, because that's why they do it. They want you to get mad. So you got to fight against them and not, you know, feed them. That's what they're doing it for. So I'm always just like, fuck you, fucking assholes. So you got to be aware of it, because people aren't. And the awareness is coming more, though. People are becoming more and more aware. More and more aware. There's ghosts in my house. There's aliens in the outside. There's all sorts of shit. There's such wild footage going on up in the sky. It is crazy. There's like light shows. The sun thing has gone a whole nother level. And when I've seen it over here, it's so bright you can't even look in that direction and burn your eyeballs off. It's just this giant white light, and it's spectacular as it's coming over, as it's rising, because it shoots out all these crazy colors and shit. and it makes it like wild sky up there. But then once it gets up there, it's way too bright. You can look over there. But in some places, people are getting different footage and stuff. And this one I saw, the guy's like, why is the sun square? And then around the square, it was all this rainbow. And he was saying, see all that rainbow stuff? That's all the chemicals. And, you know, which, that's the thing. We got a lot of chemicals up there. We got a lot going on up there. And the guy for sure I mean, the firmament's going. Firmament's going for sure. This is whole show, what they're doing. I don't know. I think even the footage of going around all the time of Hillary saying that glass ceiling, we're going to break it. We're trying as hard as we can. And everybody thought she was talking about, you know, a woman president. But she was talking about the firmament. And my stomach's growling. They're trying to get people to understand, I think, you know, we're enclosed, we're encapsulated, we're controlled. And so, but beings have come into this because they can go in and out. We can't. So the firmament's going, that's for sure. Like, however it's going to go. And what was this? That was wild. That was, oh, I think it's Hawaii. Because they opened up and are letting the people go in there or something. Like, there's some people going into the part that they had closed off. Like, whatever the government went in and did. Probably went and dug down and got into all their artifacts and stole their shit, because there was supposedly a lot of shit that was under them. And and then plus it was a beard to get a bunch of kids, which I think is the same shit as the strip. And but somebody, there was a frog, like a petrified frog or something, and it was just up in the air, just like frozen in the air, just like it was jumping and froze and died in the air and petrified, and it was just still hanging there. It's like, what the fuck? God, there's weird shit, man. There's so much weird stuff going with the birds and stuff. There's weird shit going with all the animals. And you know for sure they're trying to set off that super volcano. They get that one going in Iceland. There's going to be reverberation. And I'm not sure if it'll go over, like, because on the map it looked like it would affect more over towards Europe. But I don't know, because we've got such instability over here, and we don't know for sure really how things really are and where we all really are. Because all of the map is, you know, is a bunch of bullshit. And so, you know, but there's going to be, you know, just with all the earthquakes, I don't know. I imagine that there's shit going down over here with our tectonic plates. And even if they're having small ones or something, there's a big one coming. That's for sure. California's got a big one coming. I mean, our west coast is about to change dramatically. The firmament's going to fucking open. They've got so many chemicals up there, just that right there alone. She tells us we're going to have a giant explosion in the sky. But, I mean, anybody who's a sky watcher knows, like, there's multiple things going on out there. We got ships. We got things that supposedly are planets. But the moon was supposedly a ship. And this other planet, Nibiru or whatever, Wormwood, and it looks like a planet, but it's supposedly a ship. And it's supposedly a ship that carries the Anunnaki. And so when that's, you know, right there, we have a lot of shit going on. But it's like, that is the awakening, though, is all of this stuff to get people to question things and start opening their minds, because that's what's important. Is because you got to be opening your mind. I feel like a wheeze way down in here. You got to be opening your mind, and then that's going to be an initiation to your healing, confirmation. So you're going to have you know, if you were real stuck in how you thought and really limited way of looking at things. God, my stomach, those fucking parasites. And now there's all this whole thing with parasites too, because everybody jumped on some big bandwagon And everybody's buying all these different parasite things and stuff. But now you have these other people coming out and saying, you know, there's a whole thing, like you've got to get them out of you, like you kill them all off inside of you, make you sick, and then you have to, when the eggs hatch out from all the eggs that are in there, so you got to do it like every 10 days, and you've got to use a clearing thing, and clove pills or charcoal pills, well, they are a carrier that will carry the debris out of you. And so our bodies are filling up with toxins and shit because we got all this death and shit inside of us too. So that's the whole thing. And so there's just so much. And then some of those things now, I can't even go in and listen because of now I'm trying to move myself out of the concept of flesh and blood. And I'm moving into a different concept of myself. So I can't keep being drugged back by that because I saw this girl. And I've got silver. And I've got one that's bothering me right now. But I keep doing like, man, what is going on with this tooth? It feels like there's like a crack or something. It's like the silver is pulling out of my tooth or something. I don't know what's going on. I had my silver on my mind because when I was trying to look and see, what is that? Is something stuck next to my tooth? Like I was flossing and I was trying to figure out what it was. And I could see the silver. And so I had the silver on my mind. And then I saw this girl and she went into a holistic dentist to get her silver removed. And she said they can only do one side or the other. They can't do them both at the same time because there's this whole homeostasis thing. There's this whole thing that your body's been pulling off this mercury and shit. It's done this whole thing inside. It's like she's going through explaining all this stuff. And, you know, and I'm tracking and then it was like, okay, wait a minute. No, I got to get this out of my head because I've got to get more in like this stuff can't affect me. You got to, to me, that's where I'm at in this, like pulling free, like, okay, no, I'm not this. I'm not this structure that's right here. The structure isn't real. There's a whole thing coming out now too with the scientist saying, you know, none of this is real. It's a hologram, but more, because I'd already seen stuff like that, but there's more things. They even call it something. They've named it, and it is, and then right after I'd seen that, I think I saw Bashar, or maybe the person put this in the video or something. Bashar said, everything is right in here. And that's what, you know, your whole existence, you think, you know, just like in my dream last night, you know, I thought it was scooting somewhere. Like I was scooting. I could feel it. I just saw it, the whole fucking thing. And I was fucking being pulled fast. It was wild. It was a wild ride. And, you know, but I was still right here in this space. Our minds are the projector. It's like it's the experiencer. You know, you are the creator of your experiences. Having the awareness. The thing too is, to me, there's some part of like, you know, we're birthed into this reality, right? And then we can interact with other people in this reality. So it is, but it's still, if you leave the reality, you still go back to you. You always go back to you. It's wherever you put yourself. So you can put yourself in other realities based on your vibration, but you always go back to you. So every experience, you are the nucleus of all the experiences. Oh yeah, this was cool too, because I'm sure it was somebody showing something with the sun. And they were saying, and they were showing this video, and they showed what happens to a nucleus, an egg, when it is penetrated and becomes alive. So when the egg and the sperm meet, it has like this kind of thing. And they were showing that that's what's happened. See, we're giving birth. We're giving birth to a new reality. And that is why it is, and I know I say this stuff all the time, but I always feel like I don't know that everybody really understands what I'm saying when I say it. Because you can take so many things in different ways. Just like the titles of my things, it trips me out. because you can take it in so many different ways. But the because of so you're waking up, so you have an awareness, and then in the awareness you have to start becoming aware of your soul, because your soul, that's what's real. Your energy, that's what's real. The rest of this is an illusion. And just like my dream, like it seemed real, like I was really scooting, I was really there, and all that stuff seemed really real. I felt the experience. I felt what it felt like to be going backwards. It was wild. And so, and it was just like I was just sitting there. I was just sitting there. I think I was sitting Indian style, and I was just going backwards, and it was like, it was wild. And and it was going so fast, and it was like this energy pull, like it was this whole thing. And I don't know, it's really, but anyways, so you opening your mind to realize like that spiritual thing, you know, your dream, all that stuff, there's a realness. The world at large, that is not real. That is, you know, like going into, it's just like going onto a stage and playing a part. It's just like we're all actors. We're all going onto stages playing parts for each other. And, you know, but we have to forget so that we can really do good at the part. And then we get to see who we are because of our reactions and how we behave when we go through our experience. It gives us insight into ourselves. It helps us understand and see. And then plus it's the whole movement of the universe. It's the whole expansion. The more you see, it's like the more you open your eyes, the more the universe expands. And so all this stuff that is happening is, you know, to get people to understand that they're spiritual, that this place isn't real. And so as you're doing it, you're raising your vibration because you're letting go of all this artificial, the cell, the prison cell that has entrapped you. You know, you're making a break. You're using your little fucking file and filing it off, and it can be tedious breaking free from the prison, getting yourself out of that cell, you know. And when you get out of that cell, then you may find yourself in, you know, a bigger cell, you know, with more people. And that's why we've got such a breakdown of so many groups. Groups have to keep breaking down, even big ones like blues, you know, huge ones, because there was a whole group of them that they were the beard for the group of the people who start with the Z, who are, you know, evil, trying to control us and think they're above us, which, you know, they very well could be. But the thing is that we are the ones who've come in and done all the work. We're the ones who have expanded. We've all raised our vibrations. We're coming in like fucking angels at this point. And they have not been going and expanding. They are, you know, they're barely above dark energy to me. They're very low vibration compared to us. You know, that's why when we wake up and we stop being in their trap, we start being outraged. Like, oh my God, you can't treat people that way. Oh my God, you can't do that. Oh my God. You know, because we're different than them. We're higher. We're higher vibration. They're low vibration. And they're kind of trapped in it because they don't die and go and live all these different experiences. They've just been trying to control this one, and this one's about to blow up on them. It's blowing up on them. I mean, they're already, so many of them are already gone. They're already arrested and stuff. But so for the people who can break free and do the work, then you have this opportunity to, you know, transition this bridge across to this new age. And so this is what we're on, this like bridging to get there. Well, some people, it's, to me, it is like if we picture this bridge between the two worlds, between our three-dimensional existence of what we were all trying to survive into this new one that we're going to create, that is all about love and light and abundance and stuff like that. But see, the love and light, like they had the right idea, but you had to see, like, you have to work through that. You have to like actually let the dark out of you. You know, the dark has to leave you. So you have to do the work. And the dark is attached to you through pain and trauma and sacrifice in some cases, like that woman. She, you know, she thought she's sacrificing and she's going out and she's doing these good things, and like the universe is going to turn around and bless her for this. And plus everybody who sees it online, you know, it's surely going to go viral and everybody's going to say she's such a good person. And then it turns into, you know, a total disaster where she feels like she's going to commit suicide. And, you know, and I kept saying how there's going to be these people in these big accounts that are going to just be fucking blown up. Like bad shit is going to be happening. Another one of those. And I heard it a couple days ago. And when I had heard about it, I didn't even know that she was a big influencer. Like she was a big account. I mean, she was one of those mom accounts, like she's the perfect mom, and she had, I don't know, 2.1 million followers or something. It could have been 4. I don't know, it was a lot of people. And she's light-skinned, and her little boys, you know, their hair grew out. So she, and the dad was gone, and one of the pictures, it showed the boys in front of a gravestone. So I don't know if their dad died. I don't know what they're, because I don't know who this lady is. Now I'd heard of her because, you know, her little boys, 6 and 9 years old. And she's out there telling everybody how to be a good mom. And then she went in, and the neighbors all heard. Everybody heard the SHOTs, and there was 4 of them. And then everybody who knew her said that she had an anger problem. Like she could go from 0 to 100, like at the drop of a hat. She'd lose her mind. And that's why, you know, going out, I've got to just keep challenging, you know, when you can recognize your own patience, your own irritation, just keep chipping away at it. You know, you got to do things that are uncomfortable. Like to me, I'm going to go out and walk them again. And anybody who sees me and thinks I'm being too draggy or whatever, it's like, you go walk them. You go see how you do. I'm not going to take someone's judgment of me and feel like I'm a bad person or something. You know, I'm doing the best I can. And, you know, if you want to sit and judge me, well, I'm working towards something. And it's, you know, it can be clumsy, it can be hard, and you can't worry about what everybody else thinks about it. You know I'm not beating this dog. I know I'm not doing anything to hurt this dog. I know I'm nice to it even when I want to just, he's a sweet, sweet guy. He'll come up and look at you and just want to lick you. But he just gets so mindless hyper. And I'm just hoping that it's just like just a short-lived puppy thing, and then we'll soon be to a more mature. But I think I'm going to have to get him fixed. I mean, and I need to see what his real birth date is and really figure out what is his real age. Maybe he's 6 months now. I don't know. I got to find out his birth date. And then I got to see about getting him fixed, which I feel bad about. And then this morning I let him out for a second because Stella got up and wanted to go out. And I'd already taken him out to go pee, and he did a long, long pee. So he is getting better at holding it. Although when he's playing and doing something, he'll just stop and just pee like, right in front of you. He doesn't even think anything about it. That's why it's like, he's done it so many times. It's like, I thought we were making progress, dude. Come on. But that's, to me, is like why I think he was just outside. He didn't, I mean, when they say, you know, potty trained, I think potty training is training. Like, you have to take them out. You have to teach them. If you just put them outside and then think, okay, well, they're potty trained because now they go potty outside. Well, when they come in and they're just walking around outside and they just think, oh, just pee, because it's like there's no training. Like, he wasn't even holding it at all when he first came. He wouldn't hold it at all. He was like a fucking 2 months old puppy. Just go to the bathroom. And so now he can hold it. I got it this morning. He did a long ass pee. But then when Stella went out and I didn't hook him on his thing, I thought, oh, he won't take off. It's like totally dark out. No, he totally did. I don't know if he went under the fence, but I can be out there doing something. He'll be on his tether, whatever that thing is. And he will go over there and try and go out right in front of me while I'm saying, I'll go put a rock there. I didn't, well, that's just more of a challenge. I can get around that. He'll just go right over there, right in front of me. Like, he's not trying to hide it. And so it just reminded me, because Jim, that dog that I talked about before when my ex took Jim, which I don't think Jim is alive anymore. I just don't think that guy, it just makes me sad. So, but Jim and Winston, they were partners, but I feel like they're together again now. So that makes me happy. They're together, but Jim and Winston were partners when I had them, when we were married. And Jim got out. We had a fence thing, and Jim had gotten out one time. He had pulled some shenanigans. I don't know if he dug out or whatever. Tried to outsmart me, and he got himself out. Winston didn't leave. And so Jim went and he crossed this busy street. So I went over there. I was trying to get him. And he just went the other way. And I was just like, fuck you. Like, fuck off, dude. Like, fuck you. I was pissed, man. I just went back in the house. I was like, fuck off then. I just went back in the house. So then he turned around and then he came. And then he went and sat by the gate. And I wouldn't let him back in. I was like, no. And he just went out and sat by, because they had a dog run. Because we had this, it was a rental. It was after I'd lost my house. And this house was the one that was so fucking haunted. I've lived in so many that were so haunted. But this one was the woman who, she got me super sick. And she was always trying to save him. And I mean, she literally, when I locked him out of the house, she literally unlocked the locks. She would turn the water on all the time. She would flood that. Like, she was just she was a ghost that did not want us in her house, that's for sure. Except for I still think she thought, like, I had moved in on her husband. Like, I don't think she could see clearly from her realm. And so she was, like, living, she could pick up on a male energy or something. I'm not sure, but she was, and she hadn't been dead very long. So it was, like, probably that other lady who was, you know, because like I said, when people leave their bodies, all of a sudden things will impact them. And so when that lady left her body, and then she thought she had to stay there and wait for her husband or whatever it was, and then she was trying to run everybody off out of the house, and that could have been what this lady was doing. Like, she may be gone by now. Some rich person moved into that house. They were from some other country, and they bought it just for a vacation home or something, for their nanny to take their kids or something weird. And they dug up the backyard and made this, like, they did this whole thing. I don't even know. I bet the house was cool, but I kept wondering, I wonder if they know. I wonder if she bothers them, or maybe she left at that point like that other ghost did. Maybe her guides came and said, okay, are you done now? And she's like, okay, let's go. And so I don't know. But when I was there, she was hellacious. She was like, oh, what kind of ghost you don't want to deal with. And she, I can't remember what I was going to say about that. But anyways, so I wouldn't let Jim in the gate. I made him sit out there. He had to stress. I made him sit out there a couple hours. And he just laid right by the gate. He didn't go anywhere. And then when I went out, and I shamed him and told him, and he went into the thing, you know, his head down, and went in and never did it again. And that's what I thought, you know, try that with this fella. And whatever he did this morning, he came right back. So I don't know, maybe he just did a little circle around, or maybe he left that real fast and went over there and came right back. I don't know. He just doesn't respect boundaries. He just does whatever he wants. Just like, you want to sit there? Well, I'm going to beat you to it. It's just like, just don't get, I don't know. I honestly don't know if he's like a total dick or if he's just a impulsive puppy. I guess it all remains to be seen. And then plus, you know, however he was raised so far, it gave him high anxiety, because now he gets in trouble a lot. And I'm sure he got in trouble a lot over there too. So that's why they didn't want to keep him. She said it was too much. She had little kids, and I can see, like, fuck. If you had a dog like this, little kids, it would be like, oh my gosh. I bet you he was on top of the kids all the time. He wants to be right on top of you. He'll jump up on top of you. He will fucking run and fucking jump and slam into you. Like, oh my God. And then it's like, okay, I mean, he's a puppy. I gotta let him kind of be a puppy. But then also he's got a fucking, like, it's the whole thing. Like, Stella needed a friend. It's like, there's just always a dark side to everything. There's always everything is dark and light, and you got to find the balance. Like, I got to pull it in. And it has made such a joy for her. Oh my gosh. Like, she was up her own ass yesterday when we went for that walk. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. And I was already irritated and we hadn't even gone that far. I was like, okay, let's go. Let's turn around, Stella. I don't want to keep going. This is really irritating. He is just wild. And because part of it, he'll do real good. And he'll stay right next to her. But then part of it's like, he thinks he's like a scout or something. He's got to run up ahead. He's got to be look. And then, okay, then run up ahead and look the whole time. He's got to be like, I don't know if that's just like his breed or something. And he's just like, look out. Like he's the ranger of the fucking dogs or something. So I don't know. And so there's things too. Like, I don't want to beat his personality out of him. Like, you can't be that way. I've always thought, like, even when my kids were little, certain things, like, people think, like, you just make them. You just change them. You just do this. You just do that. You beat it out of them or whatever. I'm like, no. I think that is a part of them. It's a part of what they're supposed to. You're not supposed to change somebody at their core like that. I don't believe. Like, everybody can do their own thing, but I don't believe that that's what you're supposed to do. And I think we're supposed to, just like he's teaching me things. I'm not supposed to just change him into somebody different. Give him a different kind of environment. Give him training. Feed him and give him a home and stuff and everything, but I'm not supposed to just, like, beat the joy out of him or something. So, and scare him. I mean, how many dogs are just being put in the pound, just scared and beat down, hungry, skinny? This fucking guy, like, I'm seeing so many of these videos. This fucking guy, and I don't know what his account was before, and so he saw this dog in his neighbor's yard, and it's a bull, and it's little, and it's so fucking skinny. Looked like it hadn't eaten in so long. It's just all the ribs, and it's tied to the trash can in this person's backyard. And so he decides he's going to feed this dog, and he does this whole thing, makes this whole thing so he can drop this bowl down, and the dog just chows down. And so the guy was like, man, I gotta see what's the deal. So he goes up to the neighbor and he knocks on her door, and she's like, I don't know about a dog. He's like, well, you got a dog in your backyard tied up. And she's like, well, somebody just did that. I don't know who it is. They just left it back there. They just tied it in my yard and left. And the guy's all suspicious. Stella's dreaming. And so he's like, the woman's like, well, I don't know what to do with it. Somebody just tied it in my backyard. And he's like, well, you got to feed it and give it some water. And she's like, well, I don't know what to do with it. And she won't do anything with it. So now he's trying to figure out, like, what to do. So he's like, leaves, and he does his videos. So he's like, well, I guess it's my problem now. So in the comments, there's a lot of people in his area. I think it's Charleston. And so there's a bunch of people in the area. Give me the address. I'll go get it. I'll take the dog. And so so I don't know what the outcome will be, because he was feeling like, he had to do something. But, oh my God. I mean, this dog's bones are showing. And I can't even tell you how many of these rescues I keep seeing. Like, people just tying their dogs out like this and stuff. And just leaving them, like, starving and stuff. Like, no compassion, no empathy, no caring for another living being. Like, your pain is so extreme that you don't give a shit about another living being, that you would just leave it out there to struggle. As long as you're not watching, you can just slowly die. Like even after, like that dog, who knows how long, when these dogs are down to like bones and stuff, like, oh my God, where their hip bones and all their ribs and shit are showing. Oh, so sick. But they're having organ problems at that point. Like you're, in our flesh and blood system, the fluid that goes around, you know, like how the fluid ended up going out and taking my brain, the fluid that goes around it supplies your organs. And so you need to have fluids and stuff come in, like to lubricate the engine. And so all your organs that keep you going need this lubrication. And so when they don't have it, they dry up and start being injured. So, I mean, they are causing these animals serious problems. Like, and that is, that's karma, B. That's karma. You think that you get away with that? You think the universe is just like, oh, well, they had a bad day. No. Everything you do, you have to put it back in balance. And so many people don't. They're just going around just doing shit. It's wild, too. Like, when you see what's happening in some of these inner cities, like, it's fucking wild. And you have some darker skinned people who are just outraged, just are embarrassed and ashamed. You know, because everything has to go sovereign. You cannot associate with any group and think, well, this is what I am. I'm with them. No, you're sovereign. You are a separate person. That's why it's a big thing to get over the shell. It doesn't matter the color. It doesn't matter the size. It doesn't matter any of that stuff. That's a shell. The shell represents what the people are going through, what they're supposed to go through. It's like it's a part of the details of your experience. And so, but it's not who you are. It's not what you are. And so, but on these, in these inner city things that are going on, like, as I said, like, the shit is going to be going crazy. And it is going crazy. Like, the looting, the violence. I mean, the one kid that just got beat to death, like, and when you see the footage, it's just sick. I mean, these are little fucking kids going and just all jumping on somebody like that. And especially, you know, he's a martyr, so he's playing a big role. And it's fucking sad as fuck. And the way that they all just, it's like footage you don't even want to see because you know what the outcome is. And it's just the violence is just, you know, people are just so cut off. And then people get so caught up, like what I keep trying to say, it's a mastery of your emotions, of how you've got to master yourself. So these people who just get caught up in their emotions and overreact, and they've got no control. And that's, you know, you're not evolving if you've got no control. You know, it's the evolution is, you know, controlling yourself and being mindful. And so that horrible, violent episode. But I saw a big Amazon truck, and it was, it had pulled up to, it looked like some apartments or something, and the driver went up to deliver, and it was fucking ransacked. Like when she came out, it was just all these people just stealing all the packages and running. And this just keeps being store after store after store. They just are all caught up in just stealing, taking things that aren't theirs. Just, you know, I mean, there's a whole thing to it. You know, it's a whole societal breakdown. It's like what we had to go through to see, you know, you can't run a society like this. And it's, you know, you're gonna break down. So she's having wild dreams too. I'm telling you, there's energy around. Like, I don't know if it's trying to penetrate into our minds or what, to get us to think a certain way. Because this is a spiritual challenge. Your ascension, your evolution is a spiritual challenge. And if you have no awareness of spirituality and you just are trying to fight this 3D world, like, you don't know what you're doing. So, so all these different people who are going in and just, I don't know, it's just like a whole mess of out of control. It's just chaos and out of control. And that energy is going to keep going. There's going to be a lot more death and mayhem. And you're going to have a lot more of these influencers and people's life crash and burn. As it's all to push for this change. And so when you think about this bridge to get across to this other one, you know, like I've said for so long, on this bridge, you got to be dumping your baggage. You know, you got to lighten the load. It's a long bridge, apparently. And but you got to be lightening your load. And so when you get to the other side, you can't get through that door carrying a big load of shit. And so you have this bridge to let go of stuff. And to me, right now, again, in the same vision that I'm always getting, there's not a lot of people on the bridge, but there's a lot of people waiting to get on. And that is, we're going to have a lot of people on the bridge soon. And a lot of people more driven, more focused, more understanding of what's going on, more of wanting to unpack and let go of their past, let go of who they were, you know, and work towards who you want to be. What is it you want in this world? And something was just, well, in the land thing too. And so you know, because we're in this big time of change. This is a cataclysm. This is where we're going to have these giant earthquakes and places are going to be gone, one storm after another. And we don't know how many things that they are interfering with, but this is still going to go on. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be the firmament going that's going to raise the water, because everything is water. Like, we're in a bubble, and everything is water. And so if that's going to raise the water when the firmament opens, and that's going to be like a big disaster. And, you know, the world will shake. And I'm sure they're trying to fucking get that, the Yellowstone one going. I'm sure they're fucking probably hitting things underground to try and shake that up. I'm sure they're doing shit down in the tectonic plates over by California. And this was creepy footage too. If you see this one, this was creepy. There's all these divers. They were scuba diving, and they were down on the ocean floor. I don't know how deep they were, but they were down on the ocean floor by Indonesia. I think it was a week and a half ago, when they had their big, I think it was like a 7.5 earthquake or something. It was real big. And the people have footage, and they're down on the ground when it happened in the ocean. Fuck, god damn, that would be, oh my god. Oh, that would be so fucking creepy to me. Like, I would feel like, I don't know, it just is creepy. And then it's like everything starts bubbling and shaking, and then they start flying around in the water. And it's fucking creepy. I would be so scared that the boat would just open and suck you down in. It's like, oh god, it's creepy. I wouldn't want to be down there during an earthquake. Like, any of this stuff that, I mean, people going down scuba diving right now, all these things, people keep just going and doing this stuff that to me is like, fuck. Like, we are in big change. We have big things happening. A lot of crazy shit. And like, I think there's going to be a lot of people, just like what I tried to make that point to my daughter. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to be like, all of a sudden wake up and find themselves like, fuck, I didn't even realize how close I was. Like, I was on the edge because I wasn't paying any attention. Anything could have happened at any moment. I bet you there's some people who have had things happen right next to them to get them to wake up. Like, something bad happens right next to them, and then they're just like, fuck, that could have been me. I'm sure there's a lot of that happening. Like, it's, you know, everything is all about this awakening, all about getting people to see and wake up. And to see and wake up isn't just to see, you know, to see like, oh, the government sucks, this sucks, that sucks. No, you got to see there's a purpose to all this. And that all these things, endings, when there's endings, it's for a beginning. And we're having an ending to go into a beginning. And then how the sun is doing this thing, like it's giving birth to this new thing. And I don't know, you know, if there's going to be like this certain energy, and it's going to be like if you can't keep up, then that's when people are going to start falling. Because the way to keep up, confirmation, is to face your demons. Keep letting go and letting go and letting go of all of your... She gets so active. It's always like around the same times. Like every time when she wakes up in the middle of the night, it's always at the same time. Just when I'm doing this, it's always at the same time. And so, anyways, let me think of the other things. I haven't even been on TikTok. Like, I started to go on there, and I saw a couple videos, and I was just like, I was nothing that, and I was like, I just want to go talk about these dreams. I felt like I already had stuff in my mind that I wanted to talk about. And I wanted to talk about that Walmart woman, because I was driving yesterday and I was like, oh my God, what did I just tell about how she looked like and that I felt sorry for her? God, that would sound so rude. That's not what the story was. The story was like, you know, that she didn't look like she was taking great care of herself. She's going out trying to, you know, do nice things, but it all depends on your intention, and the universe is going to make sure that you are going to have the right intentions. They're not going, you've got lessons that you're supposed to be learning. And when something blows up like that, you got to see, you got to go in deeper. You got to see like, oh, the universe just did that, took my wallet. So there's like, I've got to stop and think about, like, why was I doing that? What were my actions? What was I trying to get? Because 100%, she was trying to get notoriety. She wanted to go viral. She was making a big thing of it. And that's not what the universe is about. That's not what the energy that they're trying to put out. If the people who are going viral and stuff, to me, it's like there's going to be some kind of a backfire or something. There's going to be something that you got to see. Like, there's people going viral who are saying certain things, but then it's going to blow up in their face. So they're going to have a public humiliation. So there's all sorts of things going on. But in your own personal life, when things happen that you consider bad things, oh, a bad thing happened, I'm trying to do good and bad things just happen. Well, then you got to go talk to your guides, because they're trying to tell you, you're going in the wrong way. This isn't what we want you to do. I would assume, just as a spiritual being, that her spirit team would have preferred her to put her money into her health, into her own existence, into trying to take care of herself. If somebody comes up to you, like I have people come up to me and say, you know, can I have this? Can I have that? Or whatever on money, you know, and, you know, if somebody in need comes and says, hey, can you help me out here for a sec? Then, yeah, sure, you know, and know that that's taken care of. That's what the universe wants. You know, the universe wants you to be like, yes, of course, I'll help you. Here, take this. And you have, so they'll bring you those things. Like the universe will be checking on you. They'll make sure. And then if you're not doing what they want, then like if you're like, you've got some, but you're going to hold it on to you because you're scared, you know, like, fuck, I've only got $100. This person wants 25. Fuck. If I give them 25, I'm only going to have 75. If I only got 75, what am I going to do? You know, you start spinning out and you think, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. And then the universe is going to make sure you're supposed to trust us. We want you to, we're using you right now to help this person. And once you help this person, don't worry, we're going to give you back 10 times what you needed. But see, people don't get to that point. They don't get to that trust fall. You got to go to the trust fall. You got to start trusting. You can't live in fear. You can't be like, no, I don't have enough. I can't do it. I can't do it. You know, when somebody comes to you, but then you also have a whole aspect of boundaries. If you have somebody who's constantly coming and taking from you and taking from you and taking from you, then you have to also say, no, you know, because sometimes people need to learn how to give to themselves. So then if you are just jumping on board of that, then you're becoming an enabler to their own incompetency of themselves. They don't trust themselves. So there's a lot of fine line. That's why I said you got to be in touch with your guides. You got to talk to your guides through this. Like, it's so multifaceted of everything that you're trying to do and learn. And, you know, there is a guiding factor that will give you clarity when you talk to them. They will make things clear. You will see. I'm telling you, it's constantly. I'm just like, oh, yeah. Like all the time. Oh, so she gets up, then he gets up. See, he's always wanted to just come over and be loved and hugged, but then he'd get himself all worked up. He's very cute, but, you know, he's definitely, it's hard. I think when you get like a little tiny puppy, and they're just so cute and little and so helpless, you just like, love them, and, you know, like a little baby. And then you get one that's, you know, has already had some rough stuff. He's like, he's coming in, he's got an attitude, he's got thoughts of his own. And then it's like, okay, you're a little harder to love. Like, you're kind of pissing me off, dude. We're in a battle here. This is my house, you're not the boss. And I don't know if that's just kind of a testosterone thing where he thinks he's like, oh, I'm the boss here. This is where I'm sitting. This is what I'm doing. And the way he's constantly trying to extol his bed. It's like, but I can't get him, I can't get another big, there's no fucking way. My house is so crowded right now. So fucking crowded. Like 650 square feet's okay for, you know, a person and a dog. You start doubling up and it's like, whoa, it's getting tight in here. It's not like I haven't been through this tightness before. I've lived through it a bunch of times. I'm suffocating because I know, well, just go outside, go out and get in a space of your own. Go out into nature, go walk around. Like to me, go get in my car and drive and jam out on the music and sing and dance through the neighborhoods, you know. That's, you know, my jam. So I like to be able to do that, pull into myself and go out and get into my own energy, get out of the stew pot of energy, which is, you know, can be overwhelming. Like, I'm telling you, I'm shocked at how many people are trying to heal in a fucking stew pot of energy. It would be hard. You've got to take some time to yourself. You got to take time to reflect. You got to figure out how to find you in all of the noise. And, you know, and this is what it's all about. Like, just pay attention. What the universe is doing, it's pulling groups apart. All groups, religion, everything. Like, the religion things are falling apart. All with the Xi thing and the blue thing. Like, there's a lot. It's all to push everything apart. Everything has to come apart. Like, you just got to think of, like, if this world, if you saw it, this whole existence of this world is like a Christmas sweater, an ugly Christmas sweater. Well, the whole damn thing's got to come apart. It's got to be unwoven. She's going to pull that thread and keep on pulling until there's nothing there. And then just like these, dude, you're moving my thing. Just like these recycling people, that they are coming up with these innovative ways. That's what we're going to do. We're going to take the thread and we're going to weave it into a new existence, because we are all, like, we are the thread. Our knowing, our understanding, our growth, our evolution. We're the thread that's going to weave into this new age, into this new state of being. So anyways, it's just too much chaos here now. Oh, you went right back down. So anyways, just, there was something else. I just keep seeing all these different things, like the power going out, all these different things. Like, in any of the things that people keep saying, like, you can sit there and go, oh, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen. But how many things have they said this is gonna happen and it doesn't happen? You can't keep stressing over everything that they say is gonna happen. You just gotta trust that when the things start happening, that you're prepared. I mean, Jesus Christ, I think we've all played out many scenarios at this point. You know, we've got to be pretty prepared for whatever's to come. Whatever's going to go down, you know, just trust that everything's going to be okay. And, you know, and I still, you know, if you bust through the fucking firmament and they start getting all that stuff and the water starts raising, like, I don't think he can bust through the firmament. I just don't. I think that they're going to just start more they're trying to draw attention or something. Just like these reptilian people walking around all over the fucking place. There's got to be some, they're just trying to wake people up. That's what I think. Everything is just trying to wake people up, and the most craziest, absurd things. But there's definitely the firmament at some point is going to end, but I don't, and our land mass is going to change. But like this one girl, like I saw her yesterday, she was live all yesterday too, trying to get people to understand, you know, do you got to move into the safe places? And, but I still think they're going to do some moving us. They're going to be, once they start these freedom cities, once the bank thing goes down, there will be such a push towards this other money thing and towards the freedom cities. Like there'll be a lot more of a direction. It's like we're having the build up to try and get people's attention, the build up to get people angry, the build up to get people to be like, oh, I don't want to live this way. You know, it's this whole tension is building up, and then it's going to combust. And then that is the wave of energy, I think, that sends out, that starts all of the cosmic shit. But that wave of energy that comes from the anger and the buildup of all this. But whatever with the money thing, that is, I think, is when they're going to start saying, you know, offering freedom cities and more people to move. Because they already did that one, and I don't know how many people even went towards that one. And I think that one is in Tennessee. And, oh, and Vortex, did you see it right after you said your kid went on that bus thing? And then what happened with that other busload of kids at school? And I think it's done on purpose. Like, you know, I'm not saying that the Mack truck driver was, but he could be under mind control and hit into the bus on purpose. Like, they've got, like, just how I said through my dreams, it was like something trying to penetrate, you know, and all these people who have weak minds, they're being penetrated. And so, you know, but I was like, oh my God, that's so wild. Vortex had just said about her kid going on that, go on the bus for the big football game. And then this other group of kids that were on that going, and then their bus got hit. It's like, fuck, man. That's what I keep saying. Like, this is fucking dangerous. Like, but whatever's going to happen is supposed to happen. I mean, if you feel like, oh no, my kid needs to go here, you got to send them. And then whatever happens, you just, you know, that's what's supposed to happen. That's the thing. Everything is happening the way it's supposed to happen. Nothing is by accident. Nothing is wrong. Everything is playing out exactly the way it's supposed to play out. We're in an ending. And the ending is for a way fantastic beginning. And it's like your awareness has everything to do with it. Like you're aware you're on a bridge, and you are determined, and you are taking that walk across that bridge to get to where you're going. And your guides are on there cheering you on and go, go, go. Oh, no, don't do that. Do that. No, look at it this way. Think about it like this. You know, you are trudging across that bridge. You are going to the other side. You know, and I'll meet you on that other side, because I'm going to be there too. We will be sharing that. We will be sharing that reality. So I'm excited to get there, but just keep remembering that this is the work, and that's what all this is for. It's what all the awakening is for. But I do think that there's going to be whatever's going to go with the crash on the bank, and it's going to all be a part with the government, and that's going to, they're already starting to expose stuff about the corruption with the pharmacy, like all these different things. It's all linked together. They're all sewed together. And so once one falls, they all fall. And so all of that linked stuff is going to go, and it's going to crash real big and real hard. And that is going to cause the, you know, all this anger and stuff with people, the awakening. It's going to be when all that goes down. But, you know, then there's the whole thing of moving into safer areas. And when you look at the doomsday map, you can see, and even this lady who's over in England, because when you look at that, Europe's fucked, man. Like, there's not a lot left on Europe. I feel lucky that I got to see some of it, but there was so much more I wanted to see. Like, so many more places. Like, I wanted to go and see it all. Yeah, like, that's why even when I ended up marrying that guy, my first husband. It was because I wanted the Eurail pass. I wanted somebody to go with me. And then he wasn't a traveler. So I still didn't get it. And then I got a whole new set. I went on that's when I started my lessons. My lesson plan began. So, well, it's always going, but it was a whole fucking chapter. So anyways, just keep in mind why this is all happening, and that there's going to be a lot of different events. And, but I do think Vancouver, you just gotta look, because I was looking at the Washington map and trying to see, because I'm always looking to try and figure out if my place is going to still be here. And Washington State like goes across, kind of, it cuts, like a big chunk of Washington State's gone. Definitely my area looks gone. I'm so close to the border, but it looks like there's a big chunk of Canada that's gone. Like Vancouver up in Canada won't be there. And all these ocean places won't be there. But in Washington State, it's the mountain range. So wherever like the mountain range is around you, the mountain range is what's going to stop the water from coming up, is what it looks like on the map. And so anyways, but this English lady, she's trying to tell all these people, trying to get these people to see it, because fucking Europe is going to be, in a lot of South America, like there's a lot of places that are underwater. There's going to be big changes on our landscape. It's going to be exciting, but it's also going to be sad, you know? I mean, we're losing a lot. There's a lot of history, a lot of things that are going down under. And so, but, you know, this is a process. It's a process of loss, of letting go of who you were, letting go of this world, letting go of all of your hopes and dreams that you were working towards, everything, and go with the flow of change and get into the groove of what your spirit is trying to guide you on. So anyways, I'll just talk to you later, and we'll get this party started. We'll get this day going. So you guys have a good day, and we'll see what this day brings. Like, I will try and see too. I'm sure many of us will be watching and see what happens with this rocket launch. It's like supposed to have so many 300 million horsepower, some crazy thing. Like, who knows? Is it going to go up and hit? I mean, before when he launched, it went the whole curve thing. And then people were like, oh, well, it just went down. It's like, no, it went up and went across. And so we'll see with this one. I'm sure it's a part of the show. I'm sure it's all a big part of the show. And, you know, it's all a show. It's all a show. And every emotion, everything you feel from it, that is what you need to go in and look at. What you need to heal, what you need to go deeper into, is your feelings of how you feel about what's going on. And always, always try and gain perspective. Try and look at things from other perspectives. Don't just get stuck on a limited perspective and keep yourself drilling away at it. Open your mind as much as you can. Just open. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.